The Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act is a federal law that was established in 1999 and went into effect on May 26, 2000. So the main question is, has the Ali Act had an impact on boxing or been beneficial to boxers over the last 15 years? I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I just wanted to talk a little bit about two former UFC fighters, Wanderlei Silva and Fitch, who have been lobbying hard for there to be some type of enforcement of the Ali Act, not only in boxing, but to have the law apply to MMA as well. Recently, both Silva and Fitch were able to meet with presidential hopeful and current Vermont junior senator Bernie Sanders. Many know that for the majority of his career, Bernie was an independent, but has recently registered as a Democrat and is campaigning hard to become the next president of the United States. This video is not about US politics or about if you should vote for Bernie Sanders, Clinton, Trump, or Carson. This video is just about having a discussion as to whether or not fighters are being treated better than they were a decade and a half ago. The two individuals that have been lobbying for better treatment of fighters are former UFC fighters, but nonetheless, they are pushing for the betterment of all practitioners of unarmed hand-to-hand combat. Granted, Wanderlei does have a slightly checkered past, as he did run out of the gym when the Nevada State Athletic Commission tried to take samples so they could test him for PEDs. He was suspended for life because of this infraction. However, he is currently appealing the decision, as suspending someone for life is crazy, especially when there are plenty of UFC fighters who have been caught multiple times using PEDs and only received a year or two suspension. Furthermore, the Nevada State Athletic Commission was trying to test him out of competition, which they should not have been doing as it was not part of their rules at that time. Anyway, enough of MMA, back to boxing. The Ali Act was designed to 1. Protect the right and welfare of boxers, 2. Aid state boxing commissions with the oversight of boxing, and 3. Increase sportsmanship and integrity within the boxing industry. These 3 areas also consisted of 6 problems that were very prevalent in 1999. Number 1, professional boxing is not governed by any league, association, or any form of an established organization like the majority of other professional sports. This is still a problem today. PBC is probably the closest thing boxing has to a league today. However, this quasi-league is run by one man, Al Heyman, so there truly is no board or association to govern and provide fairness to the fighters. Number 2, the state officials are not ensuring the protection of the boxers and are not aware or informed of contracts boxers have agreed to. This is still a problem today. There have been some contracts disclosed, but typically only when there is some sort of lawsuit after the fact. Apparently, in one recent fight between Sean Porter and Adrian Broner, there was not even a contract drafted or signed between the camps until fight night. Many are not sure if a contract was ever drawn up for that fight. Number 3, promoters are taking advantage of the sport by conducting dishonest business affairs. Promoters are not being punished due to some states being less strict about the legal terms that are stated in the contracts. Again, this is still prevalent today. Commissions generate revenue from taking a percent of the gate or from taking revenue that the event generates. Thus, there is a good chance that they will look the other way if they feel that they will make good money by letting the fight continue, regardless of the fighter's health or best interest. This is a huge conflict of interest. Number 4, there is no rating system provided to rank professional boxers. Thus, ratings are subject to manipulation by those in charge. This is a major problem today. Very recently, we all saw that Andre Berto was ranked a lot lower before he was mentioned to be in the Mayweather sweepstakes than he was after he was announced as a potential opponent. This is a huge problem. Fighters should be able to work their way up the rankings by beating opponents. Rankings should not be based on the number of Twitter followers. Fighters should be able to climb the rankings by beating opponents, not trying to win a popularity contest. Number 5, there has been a major interference in the sport because of open competition by restrictive and anti-competitive bodies. This is a huge problem today. Promoters only want to allow in-house fights. Promoters want to make sure the belts and the money stays with their promotion. This is a huge detriment to the sport. The best need to fight the best, regardless of what promoter the fighters are signed to. Number 6, there are no restrictions placed on contracts that boxers agree to with promoters and managers. It is necessary to enforce a national contract reform which will guarantee the safety of professional boxers and the public from unlawful contracts and to enhance the integrity of the sport. Again, this is a huge problem today. Some fighters are in what appears to be lifelong contracts or are in contracts with advisors who act as both manager and promoter. This gives no leverage to the boxers. They essentially do what they are told, and they have limited ability to truly test their free market value. I realize this video just stated the obvious. Nothing has really changed over the past 15 years. Hopefully, more fighters seek help from the government or senators like Bernie Sanders, and eventually there will be a way to protect the fighters and allow the fans to enjoy the best fights available. Congratulations to Wanderlei Silva and Fitch for taking a stand for the fighters.